Hello, my name is Benjamin Suttiff, and I'm here to talk about digital scanners and cameras in library collections. And if you have trouble understanding me, please do understand I have a speech impediment and I do apologize. But let's begin. So let's talk about the problems that such a project have to deal with. Digital collections have this large backlog that we really have to take care of long before we were able to really put out any digital collections themselves. Rare books and special collections have this problem for years, and we really need to solve this before we can then move on. As well as we have to deal with problems of limited staff training and our lack of user input. What good is a digital collection if not many people are actually using it, let alone know about it? So, along with other problems of our rare books and special collections and digital collections, we really want to be able to answer what technology can we use and what can we do to then get more user input to this overall effect. And that is the main goal of this project. So let's talk about our brainstorm. What do we need to be thinking about getting to new scanners, new digital cameras, and then helping this backlog and then getting more user input? Well, first we have to talk about staff. How are we training the staff, and how can we do so in a very cheap and time-effective manner? And then this goes back to our managing our backlog. Now that we have the staff, how are we making sure they're not wasting their time on projects that are just going to take longer and longer and just waste time instead of actually putting out the product? And then we have to think about the next steps to fixing all of this. How do we then push forward with our digital collections with this new technology? What are we presenting to the users that will make them come back and even talk about us and spread word of mouth via social media and also just libraries themselves? What can we do to get attention to our project? Now, this all begins with the advantage we already have. We have staff that we can depend on and who have some experience with these types of scanners. We also have the technical experience that will come with buying the scanners. Luckily, IT will be helping us. So that then comes to other staff that we can then train and move into these ranks to help us take care of, well, the training time and wasting of money. Then we have our students, the good old students. And what are they going to be useful for? Well, experience and that wonderful internships. It's about time we finally use them, and this will be a great learning experience and an investment for our future. Now, there are some costs we can't cut. There's going to be cost of space and time. These are very expensive machines, and we can't lie about how expensive they're going to be. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars right off the bat. We're going to need the space and the time for these large, very complicated machines that we cannot just ignore. We really do need to take a consideration into the space itself. So part of the project is allocating enough space for a single department that all the other departments can then use, and we can allocate more time and money if they want to pursue certain projects. But we'll have the technology, we'll have the staff, we'll have the students, we'll have everything set up, but it will cost space. It will cost time to create, and it will cost money. And that is something that we have to consider in our budget. Now, for our budget, we will be allocating as much money from our pre-existing allowances from the university, and we will be taking donations in order to kind of mitigate the cost. But as you can see with the technology we're using, the cost is kind of needed. These are advanced pieces of technology that will last for years, decades, if we properly use them and train with them in the right way. So we're getting the most bang for our buck for all this. Now, the advantage is these technologies really do build off their older models, and with staff with experiences with these older models, we already have training, reliability, and then if we need to, we can customize these machines. It will cost money, but it will be an investment for our future, an investment that the digital collections, along with other departments, can rely upon for their own projects that the future really do need. They really do want these items, and our users are happy to have them. Now we will have to spend some time constructing these machines in the library, and hopefully we can cut that time down, but it is consideration to this project. Now, we do have to talk about the allocation of space. These are very large machines. We will need the space for these digital projects and the staff themselves. So the creation of its own department that other departments can then go to for their projects will be a key component of this project. We just have to have a department that we can allocate its own time and its own resources, as well as be dependent on others, and others can depend on them. Now, this will be an opportunity for new hires, promotions, and having our students there will give us the opportunity to invest in our future. Maybe some students will come back after doing their internship and be interested in this project. Maybe word of mouth will get out, and we can get more students in the future invested in library science and information, in digital collections, and in our rare books and special collections, and their new digital interactive archives. Because we don't want just the rare books and special collections department, the digital collection department, and the archives to benefit from this. No, we need entire library interconnectivity. We want the UX librarians and their personas to help us create a fresh space for our users. We want reference librarian involvement. We really do want to make these machines capable of reaching all of our users, and we want to be able to reach out and get that experience and create better personas so we can then reach more of our users, and we can then put out better products. And our better products will be a digital collection that is interactive with 3D models, with books and manuscripts that are always open online, and then we can work with other library consortiums to spread our new collection out. Because we really want to have all this input from our users, and in order to get that input, we need social media accounts for our library and for our digital collection. We need word of mouth from libraries, staff, and students themselves. We want to use the examples of certain digital library cooperations that exist, such as Discus, such as Hati Trust. We really do want to make the best product for our users, and then our users to then spread word of mouth about our products. And if we can get our products to the wider world, we could then do more with our digital collections, creating more, expanding their scope, and then creating products that are 100% to the user's expectations, because that's what we want. We want to get users. We need users. We need the technology to get users, and we will use that technology to get users. Because if the users are satisfied, then we can get donations and further funding for 5 to 10 more years for investment. And if we're able to continue our digital collection quality, we'll have museum quality collections that we can share and work, and people will always come to. Now, this isn't really a desirable thing, redefining the library role in rare books and digital collections. No, we just really want to take the next step as other libraries are taking. We really want to be part of this grand step forward and be able to do other things with our other departments. We want to make archives interactive. We want to include government documents and maps that are digitally accessible to our users, even if it's just our staff users. We really do want to keep stepping forward with universal accessibility, as well as providing the services that our users expect from the library. I hope now that you understand the scope of this project, the scope of our inclusivity of new technologies, and our hopes for those new technologies, as we continue further as a library to have digital collections and archives that are interactive, so we can get more users, so we get more students, so we can get all of our researchers involved, and we can continue advancing forward as a library. Now, thank you for your time, and if you'd like to know about the Canvases Project's thoughts, please continue to watch. Yes, so The project came from when I watched a demonstration of a new digital scanner and its new advanced camera at ALA in 2019 during the summer. It was amazing, and the first thought is, when can we get such products in the library at University of South Carolina? Well, we already have such products, but the thing is, we need newer models, and new models are in fact expensive. They cost, there's time in construction, and you need people who are experienced with such models. Now, luckily, this Zoichel brand, which there you'll see examples of the camera in the pictures from earlier, was in fact top of the line. And in fact, I got to play with it for a bit, and it is quite user friendly. And that's really what I wanted to follow up with this project, a user-friendly technology that we could then take forward in a library. And fellow students' suggestions and their ideas of finding it cool, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, so having that first experience with the technology really got my brain going with what we can do with this technology in a library, and really what we can then do when we have digital collections that are quickly being made, quickly being modified, and then we can then move forward. Well, how can we then get more users? Because this is awesome technology. While also looking at other museums' technology and what they're doing with 3D scanners, we can do that here. And it's amazing. And now we just need to be part of a larger library consortium to export and learn from others' mistakes and creating a digital collection and taking those collections and then creating more collections for a wider user audience. And there's real potential. There's just this great potential. But then we have to look at the cost, the time, and what are we going to do with such products? I mean, these are amazing pieces of technology, but they're costly. They're useful, they're great, they're good, but they're costly. That's going to be an ugly fact when we're looking at what we can do with the budget. And then what are we going to do if these machines don't work? What if we don't have the staff? What are we going to do if we can't use them? And, well, the good, the bad, and the ugly of the situation is we need to think about this, and we need to make solutions to this instead of just hoping we can have the technology at our use at a later date, because we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. These are real investments to our future of the library, and this project I really want to talk about it. I really want to talk about the advantages. But these advantages have to be looked at. What can this project do? What can we do for other learning experiences? So from earlier in the class, we learned about user experience and the importance of having our users satisfied, as well as having simple systems that they can use. Well, creating a digital collection should be creating a simple digital collections. We need our librarians, we need our staff, and we need our users, our students, our researchers having the experience, and we need to learn from the experience. So part of the project was me thinking, what would the users want? Would they want technology that's simple? Would they want collections that are simple? And how can we get that? How can we expand our goals? How can we make this project what it is? How can we then explain the advantages of investing this time, this money, and the staff? And what can we do with that? And what we can do is try to hope for our goals to be simple. We want more users. We want users with digital collections that they can talk about. We want librarians who are able to create digital collections and get rid of these massive backlog problems. We really want the technology that works with the staff, and we want to be able to collaborate between different departments. And I mean different departments. I want IT, I want archives, I want the digital collection and the Red Books collection to be synced up when they're working on these projects. Really want, as much as the technology needs, the staff needs, we really should be tackling these issues. And the problem is we're having so many issues. We're just not accomplishing what we should. And there's opportunities there. There's opportunities for us to learn. And from that learning experience, we can advance towards the future. And the large hope and the dreams of this project is it gets more collaboration. It gets more technology training. We have more for the future librarians, and we can make predictions on where we're going to have new technology involvement, where we're going to have new staff training involvement, where can we cut costs, and where we can stay slim in the ever-evolving market, because that's what we have to do as librarians. We have to see this as a marketing opportunity. New technology means new digital collections. New digital collections means more user influence. More user influence means more users, which means we can get more money, we can get investments, and we can focus on the next steps. And the next step is gaining as much user involvement. And that's what I really wanted to talk about this project. Yes, there's technology, but we need to talk about the users. Thank you for listening to this presentation. I provided some links that will take you to the Quindus and the Zoitrel scanners, which were the main focus of this project. Please and thank you. Do look into them. They're pretty interesting, and they will help you in understanding what I really want to do for digital collections, as well as what we can do for users. These are amazing pieces of technology that I feel libraries like the University of South Carolina really should invest a lot more in, and I do believe that they will be investing in these very soon. Fingers crossed. You have a good day.